looks like it's been dipped in blue paint? Well, that place is real. It's Chefchaouen, Morocco's famous blue pearl. And today, we're going to get into the story behind it all and try to answer one big question. Why blue?
I want you to just imagine this for a second. You're wandering through a town high up in the Rif Mountains, and everywhere you look, from deep indigo to bright turquoise, the world around you is just washed in this incredible calming color. It's an absolutely surreal experience.
And as you navigate these tiny winding alleyways, you're just completely immersed. This isn't just, a few blue buildings here and there. Nope, it's everything. The walls, the doors, even the staircases you're climbing are all part of this one continuous blue canvas. It literally feels like you've stepped inside a watercolor painting.
But this stunning sight isn't just for a pretty picture. The reason Chefchaouen is blue is actually a centuries-old mystery, wrapped up in layers of history, belief, and tradition.
Which brings us to the big question, right? Why this specific color? What made an entire city decide to just coat itself in endless shades of blue? Well, as it turns out, there isn't just one simple answer.
Okay, so there are basically three main ideas floating around. First up, the spiritual one. The story goes that Jewish refugees fleeing the Spanish Inquisition back in the 1400s brought this tradition with them. In Judaism, blue symbolizes the sky and heaven, so painting the walls was a constant reminder to live a spiritual life. Then you've got the super practical reasons. Some folks claim the color actually repels mosquitoes. The idea is that they mistake the shimmering blue for running water. Others just say, hey, it's hot here. The light blue paint helps keep the homes cooler by reflecting that intense North African sun. Makes sense. And this connection to the color runs so deep that the residents are sometimes called the blue people. And no, of course, this has nothing to do with skin color. It's about an identity that's completely woven into the city's hue. You see it in their clothes, their culture. It's the very soul of the town. All right, so we've talked about the possible reasons why, but what about the effect? How does it actually feel to be surrounded by all this blue? Because let me tell you, the impact is surprisingly powerful. Almost everyone who visits describes the exact same thing, an overwhelming sense of calm. There's this quietness, a serenity that just settles over you as you walk the streets. It's almost like the color itself absorbs the noise and chaos of the outside world.
That whole atmosphere makes it feel like the entire pace of life has just slowed way down. It's the kind of place that encourages you to just wander without a destination, to simply exist in the moment.
And you see this serene pace everywhere. Cats are just lounging in sunny corners, completely undisturbed. You'll find these tiny workshops where artisans are quietly weaving beautiful blankets. And you'll see elderly residents sitting outside their doors, not rushing, but simply greeting people as they pass with a warm smile.
And the city is never static. It's always changing with the light. At sunrise, the streets get this incredible golden glow against the blue. Then, at sunset, the light shifts again, turning all the alleyways into this soft purple maze that feels truly enchanted. It's magical.
So beyond its beauty and its calming atmosphere, you have to remember that Chefchaouen is not a museum piece. Oh no, it is a vibrant, living city with a story that's still being written every single day. If you were to explore it, your journey might go something like this. You'd start in the markets, overflowing with fragrant spices and all kinds of handmade crafts. You'd peek into artisan workshops to see craftspeople at work. You'd get lost looking for hidden courtyards. And finally, you'd climb up to the old Spanish mosque for one of the most breathtaking views in all of North Africa. And as you explore, you'll start to notice the doors. Each one is totally unique, and they feel less like simple entryways and more like portals, inviting you to just stand there and wonder what other magical blue world lies just behind them. So as we pull all these threads together, it becomes so clear that the story of Chefchaouen is about so much more than just a bucket of blue paint. Really, the color is just the beginning. It's the backdrop for a place where centuries of culture, deep-rooted spirituality, and a touch of unsolved mystery all converge in these narrow, beautiful streets. And this really captures the essence of its appeal. It doesn't feel entirely real, but it's not quite a fantasy either. It exists in that beautiful space right in between. Ultimately, whether the blue is for spiritual reflection or for practical protection or simply for beauty, it created something truly unique. It's a magical experience where the simple act of walking becomes an artistic one, like you've stepped through a frame and into a living painting. And that leaves us with a final thought to consider. For Chefchaouen, it all began with a color, but it makes you wonder, for any city, for any home, what is that one thing that truly gives a place its soul?